we go. All right. So Ryan Stanelson here, and I help businesses, brands, and business owners get more customers on Livestream. And so it's apropos that I have Mitch Jackson here and Ruth Carter and Jacob Sapochnik here in 1 second. I'm going to be jumping on. And the reason why it's appropriate that I have these guys, and there's Jacob right on cue. And the reason why I have these guys on is because they are rock stars in the field that they're in terms of being attorneys and lawyers. I mean, these guys, are using Livestream. They're leveraging Livestream, and they are getting new clients using these strategies. I know Ruth, and I'll let you guys each introduce yourself. Mitch is, the attorney of the year for 2013 here in the state of California. I know Jacob is an immigration attorney. Mitch, you don't what your specialty is. You're basically, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, it is 5 o'clock someplace, right? Or 5:30 someplace.
Right.
We do all litigation and trial work. We try to help people that are victims of the wrongful conduct of other people and have been practicing law for about 30 years. And it's a pleasure to be on the show with Ruth and Jacob, two outstanding lawyers that I'm honored to call my friends.
Yeah, awesome. And then Ruth, I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself as well.
Sure. Thank you. My name is Ruth Carter. I am a business, intellectual property, and social media attorney in Phoenix, Arizona. I've written 3 books, 2 on the legalities of social media, 1 on the legalities of guerrilla marketing, in particular flash mob law. And yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that. That's interesting because I actually, when I proposed to my fiance, I gave her a flash mob. So I didn't realize that there was potential implications on that whole. That's pretty interesting. This was in Central Park, and it was about 8 months ago. And when we went to Periscope Summit, we went back to that same spot for the first time. It was kind of cool seeing it again. But yeah, it was that's interesting. So I know that and I was off the record just a second ago when I shared this, but Ruth and I actually met through Periscope, and then we met again at the Periscope Summit just recently when Mitch and Ruth were actually on a panel talking about the legalities of live streaming, et cetera, which was really cool. And Mitch and I, one of these days, we're going to do a board meeting.
Yeah,
it's going to happen. And Ruth, do you paddleboard?
Is that the standing one?
She was like,
she does now.
I do now. I totally want to do it. So I'm in.
All right, cool.
And it's pretty funny when you mentioned flash mob, Ryan. There are implications for the rest of your life with respect to that flash mob proposal, my friend.
Right, exactly.
The statute of limitations will run out eventually.
And not for him, they won't.
You met Darcy, you did. So
you're in good hands. You're lucky she said yes.
Right, I know. Exactly. Well, yeah, it was actually pretty cool. I spent that's right. We talked to you about that. I think we talked a little bit about that.
You did. You remember how you raised the bar for me without my permission?
Oh yeah.
That's why I'm giving you a hard time, pal. But let's just go ahead and move on.
All right. Let's get back to the topic. All right. So, and I know eventually, Jacob, he must be like traveling or something. I hope he's at least got the excuse of being on his cell phone or something.
Right.
Let's focus on us. We're here.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
That'll get him in.
Let's do it. Okay. So bottom line is what are you guys? Give us your secrets. Give us your. Look.
Hear me, guys? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Jacob.
It's kind of. I can't tell you where I am, but the connection is bad.
When you join the witness protection program, you're supposed to change your name, dude.
I can't tell you.
He's in custody.
If you don't know.
I'm in an undisclosed location.
Oh my God.
Undisclosed.
So much for being transparent, right?
But, the connection is pretty bad here. So.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. It's all good. It's all for the clients. We're doing it for the clients.
Awesome. Well, should I ask you first in case we lose you, Jacob? Like what do you? Now Jacob is an immigration attorney. He's right down the street from where I am right here in downtown ST, and we've already gotten together for coffee, and it's been fun getting to know Jacob. By the way, Mitch, I met you on. I think we met first on Blab, which is kind of cool. Through Brian Fanzo, I think brought you in on a Blab, and that's where I first was kind of introduced you. And Jacob, you as well. And so what's really cool.
But then we met physically.
We went out there and did the coffee things. So what's really cool is the way now you're officially. I think you're the first live stream. Like actually official live stream Facebook.
On Facebook, yeah. After that, I know at least of 3 other attorneys who are also doing some media stuff that have access to it. But I was.
Now, how is that still going? I was hearing that you and bragging about you that you are, you're leveraging it. And Mitch, you're going to get it verified here soon. I mean, because we just got to set up a page because seriously, like if you.
Yeah, Mitch, I think now it's easier to get it. I think I hear more people are getting it now. So it's going to happen. I've been using it.
I want to start sleeping at night. So you guys need to jump on this for me, okay?
Heck yeah, man. Well, yeah, right. So what's the results that you're getting? Let's just talk. I mean, you're getting you were saying yeah.
So, for example, I think I shared that screenshot with you or I mentioned it on one of the blabs that I've done. But right now we're getting an average of almost 700 private messages on our page every week. And every week you can get a screenshot of the engagement you get on the page and how many people are. So imagine 700 people sending you notes, some questions. Some of them are just saying thank you. Some of them are just, they want to learn more. That's huge. I mean, we're asking to get like almost 1,000 people want to connect with you, different people. And that increased because of the live stream. Since we're doing the live stream, the engagement on the page has definitely increased. So. And you saw the last one I've done, Mitch, on Sunday when I was walking with my, we did the muscle walk for my daughter in Mission Bay. Mm-hmm. And as I was walking, we did a 5 minutes, 10 minutes live stream, just kind of talking to people. And the comments I got after that were just amazing. Just people like, oh, we didn't know. And, how can we help? It wasn't even about the law. It wasn't even about me being a lawyer. Now I'm just a guy who has a daughter that is a special needs child, and I share that story with my audience, and now they feel even more connected with me. I'm not that, invincible lawyer. I have also some things that are, I cry at night sometimes about that, and that's what I like, I think, and that's what live streaming allows you to do, just to share that moment. You can't plan a video like that. You can't just say I'm going to record a video, and this just happened on the moment. There are people live there and say, oh, turn it right, turn it left. We want to see the bay. And I was just doing it.
Yeah, I think what you're saying is that a lot of these live streams happen organically, and they allow people to see into the life of who you are. They see into your life. They can see right. The person behind the attorney that is, that's there in the courtroom, and right. they know what civic things that you like doing, or what things that you do on your free time. And that allows people, and I don't want to steal Mitch's thunder because this is what Mitch has taught me. I mean, honestly, like I've learned from Mitch and from you guys, like what it really takes, what we're doing in this social media realm, because you guys are applying it and you're understanding what the difference is between what you're doing and what your peers are doing, and what it really boils down to. Especially, I think Kim Gar said it the best today when she said that live stream is the fuel that fires social media. It is the literally, the nitrous oxide that if you just have any sort of ability to be able to get in front of the camera, be transparent, talk about informally, doesn't it? And realize that you don't. It's not about how you look. It's not about how what you say. It's about just letting people, into for example, our board meetings or what, things that I do. I mean, Mitch, I know you remember, I mean, I had so much fun that one time when I caught a wave, with my phone. I looked like a goofball, but I had my baseball. This is seriously what I look like with a baseball cap, but I was out there in La Jolla and people were looking at me like, what the heck is this goofball doing? But seriously, I had 80 people for the first time in history, 80 people catching a wave with me. And now who do you think people are going to go to when they think of the SEO guy? They're going to think of the guy that they connected with when they caught that wave, and there was all those leopard sharks out there that day, sharks that were in the water,
That's what separates you. I mean, that's what's so cool about this. Do you guys remember 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was periscoping from the sidelines of Danny Hill's football game, Friday Night Lights,
I see the
I'm
replay.
down the sidelines, and I'm periscoping. And long story short, from that single periscope resulted in a phone call, which resulted in a referral, which resulted in a new client on a breach of contract litigation case involving substantial six figures. Yeah. So the football game live streaming had nothing to do with my law practice, but it had everything to do with bringing in a new client that I'm going to be able to help. I mean, that's the important part. We're going to be able to help these people, this company. So it's kind of hard to wrap your head around why a paddleboard surfing a wave or why being on the sidelines of a football game, how that brings in business. But rather than trying to figure out why, you just kind of realize the results and just run with it, right? It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I will say the best thing I have done the best thing I did in law school and the best thing I have done for my career was participate, and Mitch knows this one, in the inaugural No Pants light rail ride in Phoenix when I was a first-year law student. That led to the connections with the people that got me into blogging and social media in the first place. And so I can basically trace all of my success back to that event. So wow. Hooray for quasi-nudity in public. Hooray for flash mobs.
Yeah. And one of the things that I like about live streaming, and actually the people told the audience that watch, they mention it, and they say that it's how do you behave in the moment while you stream. Like let's say a good example is that and you met him at the conference, Grant Cardone, right? So sometimes when he streams, and I watch a bunch of his streams, he'd get mad and he'd say something to the person next to him. Maybe it's his wife or his employees, and some people don't like that because they feel that maybe that's not the person they want to work with because he may be arrogant. I mean, I know it's his style, but it's just an example of somebody who is who's been live streaming because he can edit it on a regular video, like if you see a video. So I think for us as professionals, like, and I can tell you, I've done a video from the coffee shop a couple of weeks ago. And I was standing there with one of these guys that started a company, one of my clients. And I asked him a question about some of his challenges. And we kind of, I put my hand around him and we hugged. And after the stream, I got a call from a guy who is about to start another company, and he said, you know what? I really want to work with you because I feel that you're the kind of lawyer that I can connect with on a cup of coffee. Yeah, it's kind of it stuck with me because it says, you know what? Where else they can see a lawyer who is drinking a beer or getting coffee or whatever, and then say, you know what, that's the guy that Mitch, he's the guy I want to drink coffee with or have a beer with. And we actually had a beer with me and Mitch the first time we met. But you know what I mean? That you can't do it on a video. Yeah. You just can't. Even if you have a beer with you on a video, it doesn't look real. But on a live stream, here's another way for somebody to connect with you. And maybe they like you because he did a video from his kid's football game, or maybe I did it something that is personal to you, or you did it because you surfed. And somebody who's a surfer can connect with you and want to become your client or refer somebody to you. So that is really the power of live streaming, getting behind the skin.
Well, and I agree. And now I had, since we met recently, it's strange how this has happened. I've had some potential clients that have been proposed to me from other consulting companies that have said, hey, I've got this attorney that wants to learn more about live streaming, and can you talk to him? And so, what do you, I was really interested in bringing you guys together because you're using live streaming. So what do you, like, these guys, like, I know what I would say, but for them to hear it from somebody else, like, obviously it's about them being transparent, but I mean, I've had some challenges because, I felt like when I was talking to this one gentleman that I was talking to, and he's an attorney, right, and I was presenting to him, like, there was definitely some resistance. And so, I mean,
where's the resistance? About what?
Well, and see, that's where I'm like, now I'm like almost over of trying to convince, like, because I don't want to go upstream because it's like, I know now that, like, either somebody's gonna want to do it or they're not gonna want to do it, and so I guess I really just
here's my take, and I'm curious to hear what you have to say, Mitch. So I had an attorney that emailed me and he said, how do you keep up with all this stuff that you do? When do you work? Right. I don't see the value of you standing in front of a camera, walking in the street, and and live streaming. And I told him that, and I said, you know what? I asked him 2 questions. I said, first of all, how do you communicate with your clients right now? And he said, well, we send them a newsletter once a month. And I told him, why do you do that? And I said, because I wanted to stay top of mind. I would like them to remember my law firm. And I said, stop right here. Open your phone right now. And if you stream right now and start doing it on a regular basis, what more top of mind with somebody watching in your eyeballs, seeing you with unshaved, open shirt like this, you know what I mean?
Hey now.
Without my tie. And what is a better way to connect with a prospect that is seriously to want to hire you and pay you money than doing the live streaming?
Yeah.
And when I said it 3 times, you know what? That's interesting but I don't want to be too vulnerable. And I said, that's the key. The moment you pass that vulnerability point and say, I'm opening myself to everybody, that's when you're going to start scaling. And I mean, the only way I was able to build a practice like this in less than, and I've been doing this only for 11 years. I'm considered to be a young attorney. And now I have a firm with almost 30 people working there. It's because of social media, because I was transparent. I let them see through me, through videos, through live streaming, through whatever we've done. Facebook was my big thing because it opened the door to my life, right?
Yeah.
And that's what's going to happen with live streaming.
Yeah. What do you think, Ruth?
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
I mean, I completely agree. I mean, the fact that people get to see into like a glimpse into who we are and our lives and our offices, and because people hire people, I think is one thing I learned early on in my career. And so when people get to see who you are behind the nasty gram letters you are capable of writing, I think people find that attractive because they can go, they want to hire someone that they trust. They want to hire someone who gets them. I had a client tell me that yesterday. I worked with I was just hired by a photographer. And because I work as a lawyer in the photography industry, but also as a model, I was able to, talk the talk with him and be like, okay, I get it. And he was like, yeah, he's like, I get you. I want you. I don't just want any other attorney. And, live streaming is just fun. So if something happens and you want to respond right away, like an important case comes out, or if there's just something exciting, or like tomorrow, my dog's going to work with me. I'm pretty sure when I take a break, I'm just going to plop down on the floor next to her and be hello, let's take a break with my dog. And, Rosie the office dog, who gets more attention than I do. And I mean, and sometimes you kind of wonder, like, why do we do this? And when I was at Periscope Summit, one of my roommates was scoping from our bed, talking about the new shirt she got and eating Cheetos. Yeah. And I looked at her, I was like, and some people looked at it and go, I don't get it. Yeah. And sometimes I look at that and I go, I don't get it. But it's real people being real. And sometimes that means that you are just drinking a cup of coffee, or you're paddle boarding, or you're sitting on the floor with your dog, or you're just talking about what's going on with yourself, with your family. You get to be a full human and not this like crafted facade that we were told in the past that we had to create and maintain for PR purposes. I think now transparency has gone from a company level to a personal level, and you get to be more real with your audience.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mitch.
Well, I just love what Ruth and Jacob are doing with their practices and how they're embracing social, how they're embracing live streaming. It's interesting, just having been around the block for 3 decades and starting my practice before the internet, traditional marketing. I mean, I look at what we're all doing now, and Ryan, what you're teaching your clients with respect to traditional inbound marketing types of skills, traditional content marketing. And I think when you add live streaming to that, it's like inbound marketing on steroids in real time. I mean, that's the impact. It's like, bam, everything that we're supposed to be doing, any type of business, any type of profession, it's substantially magnified by live streaming. And I think if you look at traditional inbound marketing techniques and then you add the live streaming aspect to it, the sky's the limit. It's a game changer. It's completely changed our practice over the last couple of years, and it will for anyone going about it the right way. There's another element that I really appreciate, and I think a lot of new professionals may not appreciate it as much as me. And that has to do with, I look at when I'm live streaming, I'm playing with house money. Okay, when I first started practicing, we were spending $10,000 to $20,000 a month on advertising.
Right.
And now with live streaming, it's free. Literally, we're all global media publishing companies now for, whatever the price of your monthly service contract is. When you add to that, maybe the services that Ryan would present or other companies that specialize in this, it's peanuts. It's nothing compared to what we used to spend 25 years ago. And so it's really a cool way to just develop your sphere of influence, to develop a global reputation, become an expert in the area of practice that you enjoy practicing, really for pennies on the dollar. So I feel like I'm playing with house money, and I just absolutely love it.
Yes, I agree. Because ultimately, you guys are able to, and it just really, I think what it comes down to is just people's aversion to just, clicking the broadcast button. I think really what it comes down to. If you really get down to it, I think it's so foreign to people. And if you don't see, admittedly, Mitch, and I have to say with you, Ruth, as well, and Jacob, look, you guys have been around technology. And so I think that's really, if I'm looking to find and identify attorneys that are going to be really more apt to do this, it is the savvy attorneys that are not technically adverse. And we've got some attorneys in the house here. We've got I don't know if you guys saw Johnny Finch, and we've got Jen here.
You actually have a question about
let's take Johnny Finch for example. Johnny and I met on social. The dude rocks it. He's one of North Carolina's top criminal defense attorneys. Love what this guy's doing. Love everything that he's taking. A young guy, young lawyer, newly married, starting his career, starting his life, and he's doing everything right. And I will tell you, in 10 years, looking back at what Johnny's doing, we're going to all be humbled to be on his show. Mm-hmm. It's just amazing how it allows you to accelerate your career unlike ever before.
Yeah.
To me, what's really, really exciting is it allows us to help other people achieve whatever level of success, however you want to define it.
Yeah,
exactly. It's kind of fun to do, It
is.
And you had a question, I think. How do we maintain a professional expertise? And where's the here?
Yeah, but what is
the real side?
Right. What is
a professional space?
What is that?
Somebody asked me that question a couple of years ago when I did a video back, before live streaming about, there's no space where my personal life ends and my professional life begins. I am me 24/7. I can't maintain two personalities. That's no. So I think you have to decide on how much you want to share on each platform. And anybody who and so what I will put out on my personal Facebook is different than the company Facebook, is different than LinkedIn, is different than Twitter, is different. And even the Carter Law blog versus Undeniable Ruth, two very different platforms, but it's all me. So I think that's the issue, is you're never not you. It's just a matter of which parts of you want to highlight when. And I'll say I put lots of my personal life out there, and it's never backfired.
Sure. You can stay professional by, you don't have to use, swear words or whatever, but, there's no one side of being professional. I think it's just the way you treat people. Mm-hmm. It's if you're nice to people, if you're helpful, then you're professional. It's not about the suit you're wearing or the tie, or.
Well, what's the elephant in the room? What's the elephant on this blab right now? There's three of us. The elephant in the room is that nobody likes lawyers. And so one of the really cool, so do I married one, but you know what I'm saying? And what's really cool is through live streaming, I think it gives us a chance to show that we are just like the viewers' neighbors who live on their right, who live on their left. We're family people. We have kids, we have dogs, we have pets, we have problems, we have issues, we have passions, we love life, we have causes. And people will connect with each one of us. There'll be somebody that connects with me, somebody connects with Ruth, somebody connects with Jacob, and somebody that connects with Ryan. They're going to be glad he's not the lawyer. That's why they're going to gravitate to Ryan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just got to surround myself with a bunch of people in a blab that are attorneys, and then I'm like,
you know, and the
You're so brave, Brian.
And Sean, the CEO of Blab, earlier today said they have a 3-lawyer minimum or 3-lawyer maximum on Blab. Okay, I want to. So the point is, yeah.
Oh, I was going to say that that you can still be a professional. You can still be known for your expertise without using legalese every third word. So I think, whereas we have to bust out our $5 words and be very particular about what we say and how we say it in like court documents and things like that, we can still be professional, considered experts in what we do while wearing T-shirts and petting our dog and hanging out. And so it's, but yeah, as long as you can still communicate the information, I think it's actually better when a lawyer can speak English to their client versus try to communicate in legalese.
Yeah,
absolutely. And just show that, you know, we don't know everything. You know, sometimes we don't know stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. People like the fact that we ask questions. I have no idea, or, you know, I'm kind of lost. And see.
What do you guys think? Just to another kind of question I have for you guys. Now, I know that Ruth, that you've been on, I think, well, you've been on Periscope, right? Are you?
Yeah.
And I know obviously, Jacob, we talked about you live streaming on Facebook, and you've been on.
I'm doing Periscope as well, but I'm not doing it as often as I used to. But I'm doing it as well, you know, once in a while.
Which platforms do you guys, and I know, Mitch, obviously you're on Blab a lot, and which do you guys prefer? Which do you think is going to be your, I mean, there's been some really cool updates with Periscope. I love the new screenshot feature. You can see how they're really, you know, and Brian Fanzo brought this up, and somebody else actually the other day, they're really kind of blending together. They're really becoming more like each other, Meerkat and Periscope, and they're just becoming more and more powerful. And but my question to you guys is which do you think is really the best for you guys getting your message out there?
I don't think the platform matters. I think, you know, just I'm going to let these two give you a more detailed response. I don't think the platform's important as much as what the message is. I think that the message shared in the right content, in the right context, with your own unique personality, flavor, and art, I think that's what's important. And what's really cool is a lot of these platforms have come along that have generated enthusiasm, excitement, and interest. And that's really, really cool. But I don't think the platform matters as much as how you're using it. I don't know, Ruth, what do you think?
You know, that's hard to say. I think from my perspective, one of my challenges is time. And as much as I love doing blabs, being on other people's blabs, I know I don't have the bandwidth to like have a show right now. I've got, you know, my client to take care of right now. I'm planning on writing another book next year. So I'm trying to like lay the foundation for that. And so I can see, because I'm going to be more like fly by night, Periscope is going to make more sense, or a live streaming platform where I can just turn it on, hit go, and I'm live. And it'll be, you know, you get me when you get me, or you catch it on reruns. Otherwise, somebody schedule me for their blab. I will be happy to do it. But I know I don't have the bandwidth to do like what Mitch does, where he has like real shows. And like, so I think for me, this, you know, being less structured with my live streaming makes the most sense for now.
Yeah.
Right. I can see that. You know, I see it like this. I mean, I think that, you know, Periscope for me is, when I do Periscopes, I always tell people, you know, go watch it. I said some things there. It's going to go away in 24 hours. And it creates a little bit of a sense of urgency for some of these little tips. On Facebook, when you do it, you get a better reach, especially in my case, and it stays there forever. It becomes a video that I can download. I can embed it on my blog. I can repurpose those videos over and over and over again, and we've done those. So I can see Periscope and live streaming working kind of together. I wouldn't, you know, so it could be Periscope or Meerkat, you know, depending on what you like. And of course, Blab is a format where, you know, I can get people, I'm thinking of even moving my podcast to Blab, where I can actually interview people on Blab, record it, and that's my podcast. That's going to be my audio. So that will save my time, because I can't. And being a guest, of course. So and I think Blab is more of a way to collaborate like this, like we're doing right now, discussing things. It's not going to replace Periscope. It's different.
Right.
And live streaming on Facebook is different. So I would definitely use the three
I agree 100%. And you've got, I'm telling you, man, I would be all over that and just keep, I mean, leveraging that Facebook streaming, because I'm telling you, like that's a niche that you are in. That are you doing that daily still or no?
No. The reason I don't do it daily is because speaking with actually somebody in Facebook for a totally different, unrelated reason, I heard that you got to test what your audience want and can tolerate. Otherwise, you're gonna lose followers. And on Facebook, I'll give you an example. We post on our page 7 times a day, every day on our page, starting from the morning all the way through 8:05 p.m. where we have our daily quote. When I do it too much, more than that amount, we see people unlike the page. And so with the live streaming, because it notifies you kind of like suddenly, you don't want to do it daily on Facebook. I don't think they meant it to be done daily.
Gotcha.
So I think in my case, the soft would be like maybe twice a week. I try to do that if I can, but not more than that for the moment. I'm testing it out.
And are you doing, what kind of content are you putting on? Are you doing any different content on Periscope versus Facebook?
Absolutely. So on Facebook, I would be kind of addressing the 118,000 fans that are seeing it as if they are live. I don't care if only 150 people see it on each stream. I know that by the end of the day, we have 3,000-4,000 people watch them. So I address the big crowd. On Periscope, I know it's a smaller crowd for me. So I'm going to be more intimate, like maybe something small, share a tip that I know is going to disappear in 24 hours. You know, we had a Periscope where I talked about how we failed a case. We didn't win it and the reasons why it happened. And it was an emotional scope that I've done, and it went away after 24 hours. I don't know if I want to have it on Facebook forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But it was still good for the moment where people saw it. They said, "Oh, we appreciate the fact that you've done it," and So I think I would play with it this way.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Well, do you cross it, because you got a lot of reach there, and you doubled your reach, by the way. And this is really important for you to mention. You've got to mention that, Jacob. That seriously, that's a huge point. You doubled your reach for your Facebook fan page just when you started live streaming. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
You guys. I mean, really. I want to really talk about like some of the impact that you guys can make here, and that's so important to really talk about that, because like those kind of numbers, like there's attorneys that pay thousands of dollars for billboards that I'm looking at right outside of my office right here,
Mr. King, right?
And you paid
nothing,
right? And so I mean, we can't just slide over that. Like that's what Mitch said, and that's why. I mean, and that's what I want is any of these additional tips that you guys have where you're, where you're using this technology and you're getting those kind of results for literally it's like guerrilla.
So let me give you another example. So one of the things that these lawyers and in your space, Mitch, all the personal injury lawyers. So for them, being visible, like in San Diego, we have Attorney King, which has billboards everywhere in the city.
Don't promote him.
And I'm thinking, well, no. I don't think it's a promotion.
Another show.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Jacob, I'm just messing with you. It's live stream. We can do that.
The reason I'm mentioning it is because imagine if he invested 10% of that budget into building a community online.
Right.
People that he actually spends an hour a day giving some value.
Right.
Imagine what he could have done.
Right.
Here,
100,000. Yeah, but here's the deal. Here's the deal. You can't buy trust. You can't buy relationships. You can't buy confidence. And one of the things that these platforms do, and what you guys are doing really, really well is we're earning our clients' trust. Okay, we're earning their respect by providing value, by answering questions, and by showing our case results. What's really interesting, I had something I wanted to say that jumped out at me. I'm going to come back to it in a second, but I think when it's all said and done, it's just a matter of being on the platforms that you're comfortable with being on. And Ryan, what I was going to just suggest is we've talked about some of your clients or potential clients who are lawyers and law firms. And what's really interesting is with live streaming now, when we do these live streams and we do a Periscope, it gets captured by Catch, K-A-T-C-H. And there's a website. I have a profile on Catch where all of my Periscopes are there. And what I'm doing now is I'm sharing show notes for my live stream. So when I do a live stream each day of the week on my blog, on a Facebook page, I'm putting the links, the tips, and the live stream show notes like we would with blogs.
Yep.
Or podcast.
My live stream efforts now. And so they're there forever. And I will tell you that that's been huge. Anybody that's thinking about doing this, set up show notes for your live streams, because people who miss the live stream will watch the recording. You send them back to your other platforms for additional follow-up, and the feedback's been really, really good. So
absolutely.
Oh,
that's a great tip.
And let me just touch on that, because I mean, it's like I start getting a twitch if I don't give a tip every 5 minutes. But seriously, like, one of the things that blew my mind is, seriously, like I was joking about it earlier, but you guys are seriously like teaching me how this is working. Like, when I saw Mitch like do a live stream, he pre-promoted it on Facebook. He posted it there. So he scheduled it, in essence. He told people about it. And then what he did is he built up a lot of momentum. And then what happened is after he did it, people were commenting, and then in the comments, he put, because everybody that's in the comments there will automatically get the post that he put as a comment. So he put the catch link for the replay in the comments. And so everybody that was interested in the actual blab or in the Periscope that he uploaded that it was a catch, then everybody's able to see it. And so he got a lot more engagement. He's able to really cross-pollinate his social media platforms. And that's one of the things. And I have to say also, just to give you a little bit of an example for myself, I mean, Twitter for me was like non-existent. And about 5 months ago, before Periscope, before live streaming. Now, I mean, literally, just to give you some numbers, I mean, my engagement, and my reach was like just minuscule. It's literally, I can't even put a number on it. It's grown by over 10,000 percent.
Because of this.
Yeah,
because of live streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Like I got over reach to just yesterday of over 40,000 people on my tweets. And so that's the kind of thing that you can do, and you can start cross-pollinating, like with your Facebook, Jacob. Like you can start inviting some of the people that are on Facebook and actually say, hey, here's a link to my Periscope, and post that like ahead of time, because now you've got a Periscope landing page, that just now, as of 3 weeks ago when they updated it, and so now you can say, hey, go here, check out the what's happening, and this is where you're going to go at XYZ time. And or you can just go there and post it right live at the time, and then have people comment, and then go back and post the catch later. So, I mean, I think it'd be good to maybe like cross, because you got so much reach on Facebook. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Sure.
I like it.
But yeah. So I think, but it was really cool. I mean, that was one of my most watched scopes, by the way, Mitch.
I remember that. That was cool.
The one I just did recently, where I and people were like, they were like, holy cow, that's a really good idea.
Even a caveman can do it.
I was like, wow.
What's interesting is for anyone listening, just pre-promote your live stream on all the platforms you're active on. Do your live stream, and then after your live stream, remind everybody about what you just did on your platforms. Tell them what you're going to do it, and then on your platforms, steer them back to what you just did. We had a blab this morning on Airbnb with an attorney out of Colorado, Ryan, Ruth and Jacob. I don't know if you guys caught it, but she had written a really cool article on Airbnb. Long story short, she's not active on Twitter. She's not active on Blab. By the time we were done, they're all in.
Yeah.
She's like, OMG.
That's sold, right?
So cool. And she's going to kick ass on it. I mean, she's got the personality where she's going to do really, really well. But it's like, once you get somebody on these platforms and they see the potential,
How it works.
Yeah.
then it gets exciting. It gets exciting. And I get excited just seeing young lawyers who are building their practices. They're not going to have to go through everything that I went through. And I'm at the point in my career where that makes me smile. It's like, with all the noise out there, if you're worried about all the noise out there, and if you're worried about getting your services mentioned or getting your products and services seen by your audience, you know what? The more noise, the better. Because if you do something different, if you stand out from all the noise, you're going to shine. I mean, use that noise to your advantage. It's not a detriment. And as soon as you guys wrap your heads around that, not you guys, but the audience or people that are watching this a week from now, I mean, that's the key right there. The more noise, the better, because it drowns out your competition, and then you can turn around and do your own thing and just kick some major butt, and that's what keeps it fun. And that's like being on stage with Ruth, popping her shoes off and displaying all of the uniqueness that she brought to the stage that day. That's what separated her, along with her brilliant responses to the questions, from everybody else in the room. And once you embrace that, that's where magic happens.
Yeah.
Johnny actually has a good point, because Nicole Boot is in the house, one of the best podcasters, and she's claiming her hair is not done.
Oh, whatever.
The worst excuse ever.
See, this is what we're talking
she's a
about.
fashion
Well, we
lawyer.
do have standards on this show. I'm just going to say.
Don't buy it, Nicole. No, but we're gonna give her a break.
Nicole's awesome.
But
she's one of the young lawyers doing amazing things. I mean,
and you mentioned it, Mitch. People like Nicole and her friends are not going to have to worry about clients ever, because the efforts they're making right now are going to yield so many results. Yeah. Think about it. If you build this media empire around you, you're going to be the guy up here, and all these other attorneys trying to, you don't need to do it anymore. You become a media empire. That's kind of what I've been preaching. Every time I speak to lawyers, I say, why don't you just become a media hub?
I love it.
How do we do that?
I love it. Jacob, I'm so...
And then I draw a thing in the middle, and I say, you're in the middle, and then you have YouTube, podcasting, blogging, Facebook, Twitter, newspapers, and try to hit each one of these things once every other month. And now you're a media empire, because I'm going to Google your name and you're going to be everywhere. Right?
When Ryan's approaching or approached by lawyers, or he's approaching attorneys, that's the message he needs to send, Jacob. I love it, because we're all media companies.
Use that, Ryan.
Here's the thing. The key.
Send me a percentage later.
What I've noticed is the key to success with what I've done in my business life, what I've seen successful clients do on the other side of my desk. It's multiple streams of income. Okay, it's not having all your eggs in one basket. It's just
stripping. I'm stripping.
It's distributing your efforts into multiple business ideas. And now today with live streaming, that's another component to that formula. In other words, by a law firm or any professional adding this into their daily routine, what they're doing is creating a new multiple stream of exposure. And good things will come from it as long as they do it the right way. So you might want to approach it from that perspective, because otherwise, if they're putting all their eggs in one basket and the law changes, or they lose their biggest client, everything can change forever.
Well, and I agree. Check this out. Did you guys see that link that I just put there for Google? So you talk about, we were talking a little bit earlier about reputation and about building a media empire. What's the number one search engine out there? Go and click on that link right there and look at what's coming up. Blab is coming up in the search results. I don't know if you guys know this now.
Yes.
Blab, the link to my Blab is coming up under Ryan Steinelson. People can click right on it and go right into the Blab right now for my name.
Nice.
So that's
the way it should be. That's the way it should be.
That's how it should be. Absolutely.
Boom.
Right
That I have never seen that, guys. There's a new scope for me. I'm doing that tonight. You're going to see it tonight. I'm talking about that. That is
nice.
Huge.
Actually, there's a good question from Nicole. It's asking about how lawyers can maintain a steady live streaming schedule with such a hectic lawyer's schedule.
Math.
Good steady stream of.
There you go. Next question.
Jacob, what's your take on that question? I'll add in the thoughts in a minute.
I think, aside from math, I think that there's no, for live streaming, I don't see it to be a regular schedule. You want to maintain that you want to do it often, but you also want to make sure that because, for example, what if there's an event that you want to do it live, right? You cannot plan on it. It's not a podcast. It's not like a blab. So especially with Facebook live streaming, you have to kind of think about it, but you can't plan it. Kind of like improv. With Periscope, you can have a show, right? But I think with Facebook live, it's like, like we have this kid who was doing a documentary about immigration. He came to my office. So suddenly I'm like, well, that could be a great live streaming opportunity. You know what I mean? Or I can interview the guy. Or I had Wesley Chapman in my office. and he was talking about helping kids who are abused and what he does with his foundation. That was an instant live stream, right? So depending on what you use, I guess you want to put in your head that that's why I carry my audio clip with me, and that's thanks to you, Ryan, by the way. I have my microphone and all that kind of stuff with me at all times, because who knows? Yeah, exactly. Who knows who's going to be my victim for live stream? Kind of like
you got to be ready, and that's you
got to be ready.
But devil's advocate.
Yeah.
I mean, just the other way of looking at this is, I actually think you need to have structured, for example, daily at 2:00 each afternoon, a live streaming show on whatever it is that interests you. And I agree with what Jacob's saying, but that's kind of on the fly. In other words, you never want to be afraid to fire up your phone and do a live streaming event. I get it. But on the other side of the coin, if you want to develop at least in my opinion, if you want to develop an established audience and a connection, I think like anything else, there's a reason why the Ellen DeGeneres show is on at a certain time each day. There's a reason why Jimmy Fallon's on at a certain time each night.
Periscope.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean on TV. There's a reason why he's on at a certain time each night.
Yeah.
And so I think structure, the way the human brain's wired, it's wired around being comfortable with structure. I mean, that's our audience. But yeah, no, I think you have to have the cojones to be able to press and fire it up at any time.
Anytime.
You know, and those are the most interesting scopes, by the way.
You gotta be ready. You gotta be ready.
I think it's a combination of both. I agree with both you guys, because here's the deal: is that and here's how I leverage the platforms. Okay, I Meerkat very infrequently. I do love what Meerkat can do. There's some amazing things like the cameo feature and things like that are just like mind-boggling. What I do though is I focus on Periscope. I use those for my impromptu, really they're impromptu webinars, and Blab, I use that as my home base, where I have 2 blabs every week that I have scheduled, and I schedule them ahead of time in advance so that I can get subscribers. And then what happens is they kind of feed off each other. So if somebody wants to go to my home base and they want to look at me, my digital eyes, they can go to Blab. And that's why I really like, and before I did that also because Blab was the only place that I had a home base. Periscope didn't have a home base. It didn't have, you didn't have a landing page. So now they do. So it's kind of the lines are getting blurred a little bit. I just don't think I do think that there is going to be a little bit of a differentiating factor between Blab and everything else, just because of the way that Blab is going and the way that the other platforms. I don't think you're ever going to have this kind of digital eyeball experience with Periscope that like you have with Blab. So
like now we have 4 people talking. Right?
Yeah. So that's how I've been doing it. So it's kind of a combination of both, and I point people to the home base on my Periscopes on Blab in order to be able to connect with me. So I agree. But here's the key though. And I talk about this in my course, and I want you guys to also talk about like what, I know Mitch that you've got your is it Scoping Lawyer? Is it Livestream?
Streaminglawyer.com.
Streaminglawyer.com. And
I've got this streaminglawyer.com.
Oh, you do?
No, you don't, because I do.
So what's cool is that like I think it's important to leverage and that's why I really talk about getting those titles ahead of time, having them ready, those topics, so that when you're at the beach and you're like, oh my gosh, like I want to be able to share this experience with my followers, and I want to be able to like knock out some tip, something really relevant. If you can combine that and do what I call a triple S scope, where it's a scenic scope, a scenic scope, basically, then and you use that that backdrop as a third person, then it just becomes that much more engaging, and it's about an experience. It's edutainment, and people learn about you. They learn more about, you know what I'm saying? So it becomes really engaging, fun, and they know who you are. They understand what you're doing, what you're about, and that's So Carl put that on there. So
it's interesting. Like we're all different. We all provide our own unique take on life and what we do for a living. And what works for me probably isn't going to work for Jacob. What works for Jacob probably isn't going to work for Ruth, and vice versa. And with you, Ryan, it's just interesting where you just have to, stop trying to figure everything out and just start taking action. Take action and just
actually. But
I mean, that's about it. I mean, I see so many people spending all their time learning and learning and learning and going to every seminar and going to every event, but they're not doing anything.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right. What did Gary Vee say? Ideas are shit. Execution is everything.
Boom. There you
Absolutely.
go. Drop the mic. Absolutely.
There's a very good question from Nicole. I think it's very, very on point. She's saying
Jacob's monitoring Nicole's questions.
It is, man. I saw it too.
They're good questions, right?
Yeah.
Let's see.
And think about this, Mitch. She's saying, is there a way for lawyers to lose credibility?
Hell yes.
Hell
yes.
Very
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, there's a video, and it's a involuntary live stream, but it's a video of a Las Vegas lawyer showing up in court drunk.
Really?
And yeah,
on live stream?
Anyone
it's on
we know?
YouTube. I don't know the guy, but it's on YouTube, and it's got like 1 million views. Just go into YouTube and live stream and just type in, Las Vegas drunk lawyer in court. So the judge and the bailiff quickly picked up on what was going on, and for the next hour, she basically, just grilled him. Wow. And yeah, I would suggest his career's probably over. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not. You got to,
Maybe
you got to
not.
rehab. You bounce back. But
Yeah,
no,
but
you can't. But I mean, but you could lose credibility in any.
I wouldn't hire
on
the guy.
any platform. I mean, on live streaming, it happens faster.
Yes.
If it's a video shot without your knowledge, or you're not really aware of it, yeah, I think that could also happen faster. But
look at.
I mean, life is blog material, and if you leave, the second you step outside your house, assume that everything you do is going on the internet. So you better be ready to own everything in your life, personally and professionally, in any scenario. So depending on what you do in your spare time, if that goes public,
you're done.
This guy was on the job.
You could toast yourself.
This guy was on the job representing a client. And so I get it. I agree. And America is the country of second chances. I get all that. We all make mistakes. But I was going to say, to answer Nicole's question, yeah, I think it could absolutely damage your reputation and your career if you don't go about it the right way. But the upside outweighs the downside, I think. Right. I mean, think about how many people have lost a job because of one tweet. Where has Justine landed yet? Hashtag. Yes. She's still, it's been 3 years. She's still recovering from that, or trying to. So this isn't a new thing where you can toast yourself in one post. Yeah. Yeah. Correct. I think it's just, you just got to be cognizant of what you're doing and what exactly, and so, yeah, I mean, I think that, it'd be tough. I've been live streaming for a couple. Yeah. I mean, I think it's just, we were talking about it earlier because your reputation, we were talking about reviews and getting reviews on the directories. We're building a story in terms of our social media presence and what we're saying and what we're doing and how we're posting on Facebook and Instagram. And the question is what kind of story do you want to write? You're not, it's written, and now it's video as well. And it's just being cognizant of that, being aware of it, Right. I think nowadays it's because of live streaming and because everyone has a phone and a camera and a video camera in their phone. You can't wear a mask as easily anymore with all the transparency. So if you were somebody who sculpted a professional persona, thank you, Mitch, and it's really not who you are, chances of you tripping on yourself is going to be a lot easier than if you're just you're just yourself all the time. It's a lot easier because you're not maintaining a facade. You're just being a person. Yeah. And I think what it does, it gives the Mitch, you said earlier, it gives the opportunity for the newer attorneys to really it helps the ones that are really, really good rise to the top. And I think it's going to really be easy to identify the ones that are going to be able to truly help you. Look, it's a mindset. Flying back from DC, I read a really good book, and it just jumped out at me. Companies, people, professions that look at social as an opportunity, they have that type of mindset. They're the ones that are, in my opinion, going to move forward the right way. Companies and people and employees that look at it as a burden, as a challenge, they're the ones that just don't get it. So, for example, Nicole and I met online through her podcast. Out of all the lawyers I've met in the last 25, 30 years who are up in LA, I've interacted with her more in the last 6 months than any of those other lawyers. Yeah. I mean, that's huge. That when it comes to referrals, when it comes to me recommending her to someone, I mean, that's just huge. I've recommended my daughter to Nicole. My daughter just took the LSAT, wants to become a lawyer and a judge, and I told her, you know, you need to connect with Nicole and pick her brain, have lunch, and get some feedback about her experiences practicing law in LA.
Yeah,
I mean,
I totally agree with that. I've done the same.
So you got to get out there, right, guys?
Yes.
Yep.
You have to.
Follow Ryan's advice.
No doubt. And I think the really cool thing is that and there's a point I was going to make here, but I think it's been really cool to engage with you guys and to just really understand where you're coming from with your practices. Oh, really quick, one last question I want to know. Do you guys? I remember the question. So what you're saying is you respond to all your social media. You don't have somebody that's doing your social media for you, is what I'm hearing, right? You like your Facebook responses, I mean, because some attorneys out there, they have somebody else doing that. Like they have somebody else like responding to their comments and things like, what are your thoughts on that? Really, one last question.
I'll just comment on that because I think, on my law firm page, there's no way I can do it myself.
Yeah.
I would kill myself. Yeah. 700 messages a week. I would basically be taking meth,
right?
Like you said.
Right.
So what we do is the way to handle is this: the team that is in-house, we meet every single day, and we go over what we're doing, and everything goes, through me. So if there's a comment that needs to be responded, they don't know what to respond, they will ask me.
Yeah.
I try to be there throughout the day, and I respond to comments myself too.
Okay.
But I just can't handle everything myself at this point.
Okay.
So, but it has to. You cannot just delegate.
Yeah.
You have to be involved.
Yeah.
So it becomes like a team project in a way.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Well, I think Jacob brings up a good point that if it's the company page versus personal.
Yeah.
And I think if it's the company page or the company profile, it's okay to have somebody within your team taking the reins and not, the head honcho doesn't have to be the one behind the keyboard all the time.
Gotcha.
But if you are like tweeting as yourself, one thing I have a lot of respect for is some of the Deadliest Catch, or one of the Deadliest Catch captains. He has an assistant, and whenever his assistant tweets on his behalf, it's like the opening part is like the bracket says like assistant here, and she responds. So that it's not always him, and that's okay. But otherwise, if you get a message from me or a post from me, unless someone got their hands on my phone, I did it.
You did
it.
Good. Good feedback.
Good point.
And so awesome, guys. I really just parting comments. Mitch, how can people connect with you?
Well, you can connect with me on Twitter at Mitch Jackson. My streaming, since we're talking about live streaming, my blog and WordPress blog is streaminglawyer.com. My law firm website is mylawyerrocks.com. And I enjoy interviewing people from around the world that are influencing change and disrupting industries over at human.social. So it's always a pleasure. If you guys have any questions about what we're doing here at my firm, just reach out, and it'd be my pleasure to touch base with you. Thanks, awesome. Ryan.
Yeah, you bet. Jacob, what about you? How can people get in touch with you?
I'm always on Twitter at Visa Lawyer Blog. You can see it right here. And also my blog is enchantinglawyer.com. That's where we blog about social media and different ideas.
Great blog, by the way.
Yeah, Thank you.
Yeah.
So Jacob at enchantinglawyer.com is the best way to email me, and Twitter.
Awesome. And then Ruth, what about you?
So on Twitter, I'm at RB Carter. My personal law firm, I'm with two law firms. So my personal firm is geeklawfirm.com. I'm also at venjuris.com. And my personal blog, if you want to see me on my weekly rants, undeniableruth.com.
Awesome. Yeah, because and I connected with you I found you just Googling basically live. I think I Googled at one time to connect with you was Livestream, just to give you some feedback, because I don't know if I ever did this for you. It was Livestream law. Something like that.
That put the post on like the legalities of Periscope.
Yep, and that's what I scoped on, and I literally showed your actual blog post.
Yep.
And anyway, so there's some good feedback for you. So anyway. Awesome, guys. Thank you. And we'll do this again, probably, I'd like to do this, maybe another 2 months or something like that. And
sure.
And we're going to do our board meeting here.
Board
I
meeting.
would like to do that. And Ryan, I think what would be fun is to pick your brain. In other words, you now know what we do.
Yes.
And I would really be curious to hear your 4 or 5 suggestions. Like, hey guys, now that I have a better understanding of what you guys do, here are 4 or 5 things I recommend you incorporate into your monthly marketing plans.
Ooh,
that would be invaluable to me. So if you ever want to do a show like that, reach out, because I love getting free advice.
Okay. How about
house money, baby?
How about this? How about I knock out a couple right now? Here's what I would recommend. Being a reputation guy. I mean, I talked about it today.
I love it.
For not just for you guys. I mean, you guys get this. I mean, obviously, get verify your Google My Business page first and foremost. Once you've got that foundation done, the next level is getting reviews and asking, like we talked about today, Mitch, today with Kim, was basically like, building your culture. And it's not just you, where your staff is saying, hey, and building your culture in the sense that your staff knows that when that referable moment happens, you have that window of reciprocity where you might not be there. And that's why the culture building is so important, so that you have a team, an army, your whole team there ready, listening for that time when that person thinks something positive, to ask that magic question, which is, on a scale of 1 to 5, how was your experience? It was great. You know what? Would you take just 1 second and just leave a quick review on Avo or on, whichever, whatever site, Google My Business. And the other thing is so once you've got the 10 reviews, I know, Jacob, you've got a good number of reviews. When you speak, when you're on Blabs, ask for reviews ask for feedback. Like right now, guys, I mean, I would go, and if you've gotten any value, go to their Google My Business page, type in their business name, and their city, or just their name and their city, and you'll find their Google My Business page, and then go review them. Talk about what benefits you receive from them. I mean, that's the way that I would structure it. As I would say, if you ask for a review, say, hey, we call it the 3S testimonial or review. It's what benefits you received, why you would recommend us to others, and what's your name first. So it's the 3W. What's your name, or where are you from? What benefits you received, and why you would recommend us to others. So once you get that established presence, and I would say, at least for you guys, obviously it's Avo, Google My Business. Those are the big ones. Yeah. And then the other thing is take some notes from each one of you guys. Like, I love what Jacob's doing. Obviously, repurposing your videos. I love what Jacob's doing in terms of podcasting. The key is, and the other thing I didn't mention earlier, and I forgot about it, Mitch, is take those catches and embed them in your blog post, and just do a little, have somebody just summarize, even if it's like 200, 300 words, what that catch was about with some of those keywords, and target specifically, guys. Go to you can have any SEO company go and identify what your top 100 keywords are, and specifically keyword optimize every single blog post that you write, that you put a catch for, and specifically keyword optimize that blog post for each one of those words, going right down the list.
I like that. So
you literally just are methodically targeting every single one of your words, and match up the city that you're in, because you guys are. I mean, are you guys wanting? You'll take people anywhere, or is it primarily local? I mean, what do you think? Anywhere?
I'll take them anywhere, but
okay.
I think you guys are local, right?
Depending. I mean, if it's federal, it's anywhere. If it's state law based, it's got to be Arizona, New York, or Connecticut right now.
Okay. And then another thing is make sure your staff knows how to actually get reviews on a smartphone on Google+. It's on the Maps application, okay? So the Maps application, just so you guys know, and I would have everybody know what that is, so that you can, because we know, and this is what's really like the secret little sauce that a lot of us, don't talk about in our industry, is that when you get more reviews on that little Google Maps app right there, you will rank higher on the maps. Bottom line, your phone will ring more. And that's just the best way to say it. That's the only way I can.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can tell you it's true.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Yeah. I mean, on that topic, rather than, what are your thoughts on somebody needs, let's just say, since we're talking, at one time, and I would say 5 years ago, they would go to the Google search engine and type in Flash Mob Lawyer Phoenix. Okay, for example.
I still get tons of clients that way. Yeah.
And we do too. I mean, we get a lot of calls every single day. But what I have noticed over the last couple of years, not months, but the last couple of years, is I've noticed most of our new clients coming from referrals from the social media platforms. And I really like the fact that somebody's being referred to us by somebody who we've engaged with on social, or a past client or a friend of a past client, because they're already sold on us before they reach out to us, okay?
Right.
And so having said that, it's one thing to put these testimonials on the Google Maps app like you're describing, but on the other side of the coin, and what I shared were testimonials we picked up over the last 25 years that are at our blog post, our website, whatever it's called. What is it called? A website. And because somebody goes, okay, I follow Mitch on Facebook. Here's his website. They go to our website. They're not searching Google. They go to our website, and there's your third-party verification.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And so I'm just wondering, Ryan, with what we're talking about, how much time should we spend doing that with the platforms that we own, as opposed to continuing to develop the Google platforms?
Okay, so really quick, so let me just address that. So here's what I would do. Great question, Mitch, because I think what your question is we want to build up our own sites that we control. I mean, really, you don't want to just drive a whole bunch of traffic to Facebook, because ultimately, let's face it, they can shut you down whenever they want. At least at Livestream lawyers, or your homepage, your website, you've got control of that. They can't just shut it down at the drop of the hat. So to your point, what you want to do is, and what I would do, and this is what we do, is we do the social proof marketing. Is part of it is getting the reviews on the directories, because that's third party verified. They're more believable. They're more real. People trust a lot of these, like Yelp and Avo and Google My Business.
Cool, yeah.
So what I would do, guys, is I would take those reviews. Here's a little ninja strategy, guys, by the way, is you can go to one of your reviews, and there's a little arrow on the right-hand side of your Google My Business reviews. You can click that, and it will actually create a blog post out of it. You can go to the blog post and go to the upper right-hand corner, and there's a little down arrow there. You can embed the actual review, Mitch, into your blog post from Google. So you get Google love from that. So this is like a ninja strategy that like, I know that somebody like you would like, or you could actually have somebody do it for you. Google is going to love it, because they're going to see that you've got their embed code, their Google My Business embed code on your site. So you do that, by the way, Jacob, with one of your blog posts. So here's the strategy. So you actually create a catch with some content, and then you put you take one of those embedded 5-star reviews from your Google My Business page, and you put that at the bottom there for social proof.
Yeah.
I mean,
we're doing it on our website.
I love it. Nice. That's all through Google Maps, right?
Yep.
Anyway, guys, I gotta go run. It was amazing.
Yep.
And
always,
I'm gonna post this replay.
Awesome.
On my social media.
All right. See you, Jacob. Take care, buddy. Bye-bye.
Good night, guys.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting, because I haven't really, let's just say, developed the Google Maps platform that I heard you talking with Tim Garst about earlier. Yep. Oh, that's weird.
Here, let me hold on. There we go. Okay.
There we go. And now you've just given me something else to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if there's anybody that can implement it, I know you can. And so it's going to be, it's just something that's just it's the little detail. Sometimes it's the little shifts. It's the 1 degree shift that makes all the difference in the world, especially in the world of SEO. And when Google sees that, it's just that 1 degree extra little oomph that Google will, that signal that Google will say, oh my gosh, they're posting these reviews. And then also it's just social proof, it's great. And it's third party verified. So it's not you, putting a quote there saying this is the review that we got. It's like, somebody went to Google, they left the review, you took it from Google and you put it back on your site. So it's,
You know what else has really been powerful for us, Ryan, is getting other lawyers and judges in the community to do reviews. And using snail mail. I mean, it's not any online app or anything, but it's just having other lawyers. Like if we try Ruth, like we'll try a case, right? And usually it's a pretty amicable situation. By the time it's all said and done, would you would you mind sharing your comments about, your interaction with our firm?
Yeah.
Did we bring value, even though we kicked someone's butt? Did we bring value to the case? But I hear somebody coming in. I'm sorry. Okay. But what I found is that getting reviews from other lawyers, from competitors, because even though we're competitors, a lot of us are friends. Mm-hmm. And I think when somebody's looking at hiring you, they're looking at all the above. They just don't want to know what clients have said, right?
Yeah.
Right.
No, I would leverage those strategic partners, and I would actually print that out. I like
the way you just said that. Strategic partners. That's good. That's why you're the marketing expert. I'm a lawyer. Perfect. I love that.
I always, when I consult, I'm always saying, hey, what strategic partners do you have? Like, go there. That's your low-hanging fruit for getting reviews, right? I mean,
right.
If you're a property management company, you probably have some vendors that are your strategic partners that you can go and talk to, right? That can review you. That's where you go first. And then for you, I would I would do a scan of those snail mail, those reviews you got, and I would put those right on your website. And definitely we have a saying around here that I've coined is a review is only as good as the number of people that see it. Right. So ultimately what you want to do is you just want to broadcast that review out there on your social media sites. I would take the scanned copy of that. I would put it as an image and a big thanks and a shout out to whoever gave that to you. And then I would also, we actually take it one step further. We actually take and we create a YouTube video out of these reviews. So we're actually leveraging social media in the form of video to repurpose any way that we can leverage the repurposing of these videos, just like we're repurposing our live streams, and getting them on YouTube. It's,
I love it.
You want to, yeah. So those are some
great advice. Great tips, great advice. I appreciate it.
You bet. I got more. That's just the beginning. I'm saving my best for my best for later. You'll get some more later.
Awesome.
We're going to take you up on that, Ryan.
All right, guys. It was fun, and we'll do this again. And are you guys both going to the summit in San Francisco, or?
I'm hoping that's. Yeah, I submitted, so we'll see.
Okay.
We should all ping Ryan and the other organizers up there and be like, so you inviting the cool kids back again or what?
It's gonna be fun. I'm going up there either way. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll all get a thumbs up. It'll be fun if we all see each other up there. And we're wrapping up. Are we still on the record here? We're still.